Maybe if I... I'm trying to rig something up. Good morning. Buenos dias. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. I love that. Grand Rising. Let me tell you something. I had to pull out the emergency joint because the dream that I had last night was so vivid. It don't even make sense. Like, the dream doesn't even, like, it makes total sense, but I was so flabbergasted at the dream. So, espérate, because I gotta get right a little bit. I just woke up. I literally just woke up and I was like, déjame cepillarme la boca and let me go talk to them a little bit. Ciao. The dream that I had last night was mad caliente, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like literally penis is coming into my life soon. I don't know how to not soon, but like somebody's coming in my life soon. Like I don't even know. Like it's so crazy. It's like I don't know, it's just so crazy. Let me just explain to y'all what happened. But hold on. I know, give me a thumbs up. It's 24 y'all watching me right now. Make that make sense. Y'all don't love me? Because you know that's free to give me a thumbs up. Not me guilting y'all. Like, y'all don't love me? Yo, ever since I got this outfit, I've been rocking my Savage X Fenty like it ain't nobody's. I love this thing. I love everything that I bought from Savage X Fenty. And do y'all see that my eyeliner matches my bra? Like, I put this eyeliner on this morning for you guys. I want y'all to know that. This eyeliner, I put it on for you guys. Because you guys like seeing me. I don't have a lick of makeup on. Does she have a lick of makeup on? No, she does not have a lick of makeup on right now. She has eyeliner for you guys. I woke up this morning and I put eyeliner for you guys so that y'all can get hype because y'all love when I wear my eyeliner. So I need y'all on hype energy this morning. So low key, just a little side tangent while I smoke it before I tell y'all the dream. While I was low key thinking, I was talking to somebody in New York. And literally, New York is 3 hours into the future before where I'm at in California. So the person was like, oh, I'm in the future and news report, it sucks. And I was like, and that's why I'm still in the past to correct that future because that sounds like an unfortunate outcome. And with me still here in the past, getting ready to change the future, that's not going to happen. So I like that I live in California because I'm 3 hours behind New York. So when people have already lived their life, oh, you thought I wasn't smoking no more. Girl, I had an emergency blunt. What you talking about? I had an emergency blunt just for a moment like this where I wake up mad certain I need to tell y'all my dream. Do not begrudge me the emergency blunt. Do not begrudge me this. Don't act like we've all never had an emergency stash of anything that we have or we like. I used to be the girl. Let me tell you something. This was way back in my life. But you always got to keep an emergency plan. But when I was with my ex situationship, not long ago, I told y'all that he bought me a gym membership for Christmas, right? It said, you know, let me not even say nothing. I wanted to curse. That good for nothing SOB. He tried to buy me a gym membership. And I was like, hold on. You got a beer belly. And your ass is fatter than mine. That's why you always got those smears in the back of your boxers. No, dead ass. Like, he had a beer belly. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. And it was a beer belly that he has stretch marks in the front part of it. He has stretch marks in the front part of it. So when he had the audacity to get me a gym membership, like, I was fat. I was. He's so silly. No, I just put on eyeliner and I put on my wig. You know, her little wig. Um, he deadass bought me a gym membership and he had a beer belly because he was drinking mad beers. And he wasn't even drinking the expensive beers because you want to know something about an alcoholic? An alcoholic, when they start drinking a lot, you could tell when they get their check or when they got money, and you could tell when times are hard because they go from drinking Presidentes and what's that thing? It's like the champagne of beers, Miller something light or something. They drink all those bougie beers in the beginning, and then as the times get hard, they go and they escalate down to King Cobra and Ice House. So I knew with my ex situationship what attitude I was gonna get him in, depending on the beers that he brought home. Because if he had money somehow, how he got money, I don't know. But if he had money and he came home with some freaking Miller Lights, the champagne of beers, he was like, "Ooh, I'm fancy today, honey. What you made?" And I'll be like, "Yo cociné, da 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 da," because I used to talk to him in Spanish to try to teach him Spanish. And his favorite thing that I used to make him, his favorite thing I used to make him was anything guisao, como sancochao, like guisao. Guisao is like stewed meat. So anything stewed with rice and the beans, like this man cannot get enough of my beans, like enough of my beans. I think out of everyone that I've ever cooked for, I cooked the most for this man, and I made he had the most out of me. That's crazy. It's so crazy. So, whatever. He wanted everything Gisao. So he came home with some Miller Lights and some Gisao. Oh, it was a really good day for him. If he came home with like the exotic like draft beers from like Germany, he was like an alcohol connoisseur. He really he had like this German beer that when you look at the bottle, if you turn it upside down, it's an old lady, and if you turn it the right side up, it's a beautiful woman with big tits. That was his favorite beer because it had the highest alcohol content. And we used to have to go to like this world's market when we lived together to go get it. And it was like a nuisance. So whatever. Little side story. So yeah. I don't know where I was leading to that, but he loved my beans. He loved my beans. He loved my beans. He was lactose intolerant, so he couldn't really have things with cheese. But can I tell you something? This is a testament to how good I cook. And I have not made my shit your pants lasagna. My shit your pants lasagna. Let me tell you why I called it this. I make a lasagna that me and him, I used to joke around with him, and I used to be like, "Yo, this is your shit your pants lasagna," because this man was lactose intolerant. He never told me this because the minute he tried my cooking, he trusted me. So one night, yo le cociné un lasagna. And when I make lasagna, I make lasagna. And my lasagnas are heavy. Oh, they're heavy. Like a little slice, te va a durar. And back in the day, my mother, when she made lasagna with rice and beans and avocado and salad. Lasagna was like the protein. So I just made him lasagna. I didn't make him no rice, no nothing, because I'm like, I got to train him. He hasn't been made food. Like, nobody's really cooked for him. Like, his mother really didn't cook for him. Like, he grew up with no shade. No shade. The one meal that this man ever made me, he made me a rice-a-roni, like a hamburger helper. He was raised with hamburger helpers. And no shade to anybody that likes hamburger helpers. But it tasted mad artificial cheese, mad salty, and really it just tastes like mad salty cheese. Rice, hamburger helper. And he busted that down, and I was like, oh, I cannot eat that. He made me hamburger helper one time, and I could not eat it. I was like, ooh, yo no como eso. My mother didn't make no hamburger. Why the hamburger needs help? It's a hamburger. It's a hamburger. Why does it need help? What did you do to the hamburger that it needs help? But yeah, he made me hamburger helper, girl. So, boom, whatever, right? I made him a lasagna. And I made it thick, right? It's the first time I ever made him lasagna. He came home and he was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, lasagna. He was like, ooh. And I used to do food porn with him. I call it food porn. But I love when I cook for somebody and I'd be like, come over here. And then I go in the stove and I pull it out and I ripped off the aluminum foil and he saw the cheese bubbling. And he was like, ooh. Ooh, I'm gonna go wash my hands. I'm gonna go wash my hands. I'm gonna go wash my hands. He used to get excited for my cooking. So boom, he goes, runs, washes his hands. I serve him the slice of lasagna, right? So boom, now he's busting this down and he's like, yo, you know you're gonna have to cut me another slice, right? So I'm like, okay. Boom. I cut him another slice. Now he's busting it down, right? He's busting it down. So now he's drinking, eating. He in the room. He comfortable. He watching Dragon Ball Z because that was our thing. We used to watch anime together. Because he was surprised that I like anime. And I'm like, I'm such an anime girl. So whatever. He drinking, eating. By the end of the night, this man ate the whole entire the pan of lasagna. He ate the whole entire pan of lasagna. This man ate. This man ate. I watched him over a series of the night eat and devour this lasagna that I made. He devoured it. And now that he's full and we sleeping in the middle of the night. And me levanta con peo, like the farts. He wakes me up in the middle of the night con un peo. But this fart was not normal. It was not a normal fart. It was not the type of fart that, like this fart wakes you up out of your sleep. It sounded like un demonio, like a demon coming from his culo. So the fart sounded like like that. And he had butt. Oh my God, that's one thing about him. He had butt and he hated the fact that he had butt. But he had booty cheeks. So I knew it was that type of fart that makes your booty cheeks slap in the inside part of it. Like almost like a fart that rolls like that in your booty cheeks. So I knew, when I woke up and I heard that, I was like this. We do not have a dog, and that is not a dog growling. Eso fue un peo. What is that? He's like, he gets up, runs to the bathroom. My G was like, babe, can you pass me my cigarettes? I said, oh, he about to be there all night. Because whenever he had a bad stomach, he will always be in the toilet, like, for hours, smoking mass cigarettes. And I knew when he was going to be there for a long time because he'll be like, pass me a beer. And then, I'm about to admit something to y'all that I cannot believe I'm about to tell y'all. He used to have me. I don't even want to tell y'all because dead ass, like, if anybody in my family knew, they would call me a huele peo. A huele peo is like a fart smeller. And that's not a cute thing, right? So, he used to be like, wow, if you love me, you would sit and talk with me. And I'll be like, but you on the toilet taking a shit. And he would be like, Oh, so you dead ass not gonna come sit on the toilet with me? Like, I thought you was from Brooklyn. I thought you was real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this, that, and third. Because he was from New Jersey, but he grew up in Harlem. I mean, he was from New Jersey, but he grew up in Harlem. And I have an attitude with Harlem men. So, dead ass, I used to be like this. I used to tell him conditions. There had to be spray. The door had to be cracked. We had to turn on the shower with the water, the hot water, so it could steam and take out all the smell. And he had to do courtesy flush every time he dropped a deuce. Oh my God. He used to have me imprisoned in the freaking bathroom with him while he was taking a doodle. And it would be mad long that he'll be in there. And I'll be like this, I really don't want to be in here. And he'll be like this, wow, so you really don't love me. And I'm like, you know what? But let me tell y'all something that happened this one time, right? This is going to be a long video because I haven't really spoken to y'all like this in mad long. So, and she got press on nails. I hope y'all know that, like, your girl, let me tell y'all something. A bitch made $10 in tips, right? The tips have been slow at work. I made $10 in tips. Your bitch was like, I need a new set of like pressies. Like, I need a new set of pressies. So, she acting brand new right now because she got pressies and she got her little Savage X Fancy, honey. Honey. Have y'all seen the Savage X Fancy, honey? So you can have me over for Sunday dinner. I miss Sunday dinners. So listen, I don't drink beer. I don't drink alcohol. He would drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, and take a doodle. So whatever, right? So un huele peo. Un huele peo is probably what they would have called me. I used to call myself un huele peo. Like, I used to be in the bathroom with him. Let me tell you something. I used to be in the bathroom with him, right? And I used to sit there for mad long. And I wasn't smoking weed when I was with him. Oh, I was a good girl. I did not smoke. I did not drink. I cooked. I cleaned. And let me tell you, I got no ring. So that's why I'm not cooking and cleaning for nobody. Like Cardi B said, that's what you got to do to get a ring. You can't be sweet no more. They don't like that. They don't like when you're sweet. They like it cuando tú eres un tramposa, una mardita. That's what they like. They like cuando tú le maltrata como un perro. Yes. Treat them bad. Whatever. I'm mad talkative today. I'm still going to tell y'all the dream because I have not forgotten that. So, whatever. I used to be in the bathroom and I used to sit there and he used to talk. And after a while, I would just be like, yo, my butt hurts sitting on the side of this tub. Like, why am I in here? Like, what am I doing? Yo soy una huele peo. Like, and I used to like bully myself in my head. I used to be like this. Yo, one day you're going to gain enough courage to leave this bathroom. And I used to tell myself, like, tú eres un huele peo. That's what you are right now. This is what you've reduced yourself to? Un huele peo? You're here hueliendo pelo? Like peos? Like, is that what you're doing with your life? Like, I really have come a long way from smelling a man's farts and sitting in the toilet with him, like in the tub with him, in the bathroom with him, to like really redefining my realness and like knowing my worth. Yo jamás haría eso. If you don't know what that means in Spanish, never shall I ever be in a bathroom with a man while he's taking a doodle and feel forced to stay in there. I don't know why, because he was drunk. Like, I need y'all to put that element too. Don't just call me a huele feo and not understand where that comes from. He was drunk, and when he was drunk, he didn't know his own strength. So, I don't know how to explain it to you, but like, I sometimes still struggle with like, well, you know, like he was drunk, so he didn't know his own strength. But I realized that was me making excuses for the bad behaviors. That was me making excuses because I had finger marks on me because he grabbed me a little too hard, trying to make me stay in the bathroom. So in fear that he would get up off the toilet and really put all his weight on me, I would just sit there and talk to him. And I told myself, it's true, right? If I love him, I should be able to stay here with him and talk to him because at least he's talking to me and he's not talking down to me. He's not talking bad to me. He's not telling me I'm ugly and fat. And this is why he can't get it up. And this is why I don't turn him on anymore. And this is why I'm worthless. And you know, this is why my mother didn't love me, and this is why my family left me, and this is why I was nothing and worthless, and I should be lucky that he at least was even living in a house with me, because he could have been with anybody else. He was an attractive man. He could have been with anybody else. And he would tell me that every single time. You see, when we go out, people look at me. They would never think that I would be with you. Look at me and look at you. Look at the way you dress. Look at the way I dress. I dress fly. So I want y'all to know that when I sit here and tell y'all these stories, I want y'all to understand that I was in a different headspace and it was a different time. So I can joke about it now and say, yo fue un huele peo. But back then, I was a broken, battered woman who was afraid, who didn't know her own self-worth, and who stood in a place of complacency. Physically, I was living in his shit. In his shit. And I didn't feel like I had a choice. That's a real moment. The more you smoke. That's a real moment for you this morning. So, on that note, like, let's keep it a $1.50. Like, your girl has come a long way. And that was so random. I didn't expect to share that story, but there you go. You know a little more about me now. So that was so weird. How am I gonna segue to this amazing dream after that? With a sip of water and a morning affirmation. I have my affirmation in my cup right here. And then in the water, I can read it if I look it close enough. I don't chase, I attract. What's meant for me and my higher self is already mine. So let me tell you about this dream. So boom, I was sleeping and okay, can I tell you something? Okay. The reason why I wanted this pajama set from Savage X Fenty is because, like, have I ever told y'all that I try to control my dreams? So I try to control my dreams. Like when I have nightmares, what I've tend to do is because I've suffered from really bad nightmares, like mostly all my life from when I was a young girl, because of trauma that I've accumulated. So I've tried to control my nightmares, that when I'm in the nightmare and I have an awareness that I'm in the nightmare, even though I can't really stop the nightmare, I'm able to tell myself in the nightmare this isn't really happening. So I'm able to ride out the pain through the dream, and then I'm able to come out of it. And normally in my dream, when I'm able to come out of it, I have like this thing that I tell myself that I know it's a dream, so that I can sort of control where the dream is going. I know it sounds weird, but it's just something I think that I've accumulated with learning how to deal with the traumatic like reoccurrence, because it felt like I wasn't getting a break like at night. And then also when I was living in the truck, having to sleep in 30-minute intervals and waking up constantly really didn't help the situation either, because I will always wake up in such alarm. So I've been able to really like not really control my dreams, but I can sort of like switch the narrative in the dream once I'm aware that it's a dream, and I write out whatever the nightmare part is at. So it's like almost in my dream, I'm like, okay, I know I'm in the dream, I can't get out of it, but if I write out the dark part, I'm gonna get to the rainbow, and when I get to the rainbow, I can like direct where the dream starts, and then I drift off into sleep. That's when I know that I'm fully asleep, when I'm in the nice part of the dream, because I feel that instant relax. Like when I'm in the nightmare, I feel, it's almost like I feel my body tense up and I'm not relaxed. Like I was like, I can't wake up, but I'm not relaxed. So when I get to the good part of the dream, I'm able to relax. So when I have these dreams, the reason why I'm able to remember them so vividly is because it's the nice part of the dream. And I love the nice part of the dream where I get to just drift off into good sleep. So in knowing that, I'm able to correct the dream. So for me, I don't know if this really helps anything, but um I've been going to sleep with my Savage X Fenty because I've been trying to have dreams about me walking on the runway with the outfits. So I was like, if I sleep in Savage X Fenty, I can probably try to dream in Savage X Fenty and dream what my life would look like as a Savage X Fenty model. And night was the first night that it actually happened for me, but it didn't happen the way that I was trying to make it happen. I was trying to make the dream turn into, because I've been, okay, since the landlord told me that she's not going to renew the lease, I have been like, that triggered some, now body is going back and not to eat as often, have my head spin a lot when I'm at work. I'm thinking, okay, so like, I need a second job. I need to figure something out. I don't want to go into a room. I need to get into an apartment. And then it starts, my head has been spinning. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my head has been spinning. So that's triggered something in me. And I've realized that my nightmares have come back with intensity because of that. So I've been trying to control that and get out of these nightmares because I have less and less control of them now. So, boom. Last night was the first night I had a dream as a Savage X Fenty model, but it was different. This dream was bigger than what I was projecting to dream about. I was just projecting to dream me actually on stage, wearing the lingerie, being backstage, getting my makeup done, and actually like what that whole process would look like to be a model. So that's what I was trying to envision. And I was watching the Savage X Fenty show on my phone before I went to sleep because I put it in a loop where what happens is I put it in a loop so that I hear it in the background. I'm watching it right before I go to sleep. I'm envisioning myself in it. And then I go to sleep and then I still hear some of it in the background on my phone during my nightmare part. And then I was planning that after my nightmare part, it would have soothed me into like the walkway, the runway, and all of that in my dream. I hope you guys are keeping along. But that didn't happen. So what happened is that after the nightmare part of my dream, I drifted into like a place where it was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was a house party, but the house was not like an average house. It was like this big mansion. And it was so weird to be in a mansion that big and to be so many people there. It still felt like there was rooms in the place where it was quiet and there wasn't a lot of people. So I drift into like this darkness, and then when I come out of like the darkness, I'm at this like house party, and all I remember was there was a pool, like floor to ceiling windows, and everybody was mingling. I was wearing like a blazer, but the blazer was like a material that felt like the finest, like I don't know, like the material felt soft and silky, and it was like this, like not cotton, I don't know how to explain it, but the suit jacket was oversized, and it had the Savage X Fenty logo like this, but it wasn't made from this material. It was made from like a suit material. And then I had a bandeau top, and then I had like these trouser pants, but the trouser pants were like, they almost looked like two skirts on my legs. And then I had my hair curly, and I looked and I had like all these rings and jewels, like these chains and stuff, and like this blinged out watch. And then I'm holding like this glass, and then I'm holding like this blunt. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. I never dreamt this before. Because normally I have repeating dreams. I've never dreamt this before. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So I'm kind of like shocked. It almost feels like I've jumped into myself, but in a different, I don't know how to explain it. It's like weird in the dream. So now I'm in the suit and I'm looking down and I'm looking at these details because I've never had this dream before. So I'm looking at the details and I'm like, espérate, what's happening? So I'm seeing everybody in the crowd, and I'm trying to scan the crowd to see if I see any any faces that I recognize. And I don't notice anybody in this party, like not even, because sometimes in my dreams, I see people that I know in real life, and they'll be in the background. And that's how I'm able to identify that this is a dream, whatever. Because I'm like, there's no way this person from third grade is going to be here. Like, there's no way. So I start walking away to go out into the pool to get some fresh air in the dream. And as I go out, somebody grabs me. And I'm like, excuse me? And she's like, oh. And it's Rihanna. It's Rihanna. And I'm like freaking out. And she's like, girl, we've been calling you. We like, go on stage. I was like, go on stage. She was like, yeah, like we've just launched you as the face of our 3-part campaign. Like, you know, like this is the launch. You're gonna go to like London. So essentially what Rihanna was telling me in that moment was, what happened was I was launched on Savage X Fenty on their website, Savage X Fenty, Fenty Beauty, and Fenty Skin. And they did an article on my story from truck to runway. And this was a celebration of me touring the world, teaching about Fenty products as a brand ambassador and lead makeup artist. And I was like a global ambassador for Savage, for all things Fenty. I was like a global ambassador. So they wanted me on stage. They wanted me on stage to talk and like to just whatever. So I'm like awkwardly, and I'm like, what? Like, what is happening right now? Like, everything was happening, and she's pulling on my arm, and I'm like, this is Riri pulling on my arm right now. Like, and then I start noticing people like Megan Thee Stallion and Normani and all the other Savage X Fenty models that I've seen. Like Lawrence, the guy with the green hair. I saw him in the crowd. And I noticed everybody, and I'm like, oh my God, they're here. They're here. Everybody's here in the room. What's happening? What's happening? And they're all cheering, and I'm getting on stage, and I'm freaking out. Like, I'm freaking out. And I'm like, I don't know to this day how I got here. But all I can tell you is that the excitement that I feel and the joy that I feel in my heart, I know this to be real. And that's all I said. And everybody started cheering, and Riri like hugged me, and I started freaking out, and I was just like, what? And then everything went dark, and I wake up in a bed. But the bed was not like any other bed. It was like, I wake up to like the crack of like this light, but almost like the light had a shadow and just like half part of my eye. So when I wake up, I feel the softness of the pillows, and all I see is like being enveloped in like white. And it was the comforter. The comforter was stark white. The pillows were stark white. And the light that was shining through these windows that were so massive, but they had like bracings in between them. So that little part that was shadowing over my eye was one of the like frames from this massive window that was peeking through. And it was like a warehouse style. And there was a lot of brick. And the brick has some stains of like white paint that was lingering. It almost looked like they were trying to restore the brick and remove the paint that had been on the natural brick. And I wake up, and I'm all this fluffiness of the comforter and the pillow. And I wake up just shocked, and I'm like, was that real? And then I look around, and it's just this massive, massive, almost like what I could describe as like this industrial warehouse space that looked like a magical wonderland. There was a disco ball, there was a swing, there was this massive island kitchen, but the island was long, and it was like this big stone slab that looked like almost like a marble art piece. And then these bar stools, and then this long like wood, like solid oak piece like table, and like the chairs had like this sort of brass detailing, but they were like carved and innately detailed with like these like metal carved roses, and the bottoms of the legs looked like little vines with the leaves. So it almost looked like the chairs were growing from the ground, because the ground was like this hardwood floor. it was beautiful. Like it took my breath away. And I'm like, this is my bed. And había un perrito, like a little Frenchie right there. And I'm like, what? So I get up out of the bed and I'm still wearing this. This is what I wore to bed. So I'm like, okay, what is this? So I get a phone call and it's from apparently my assistant. And she's like, are you up? Like, da 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 da. I left your bags packed in the closet. I'm sorry that I can't be there, but I had to take a flight, da da da, so I could get there before you to have everything set up. But don't worry because the car's already going to be there. You just have to get up and go. You'll be able to take a shower in the plane. And don't worry, everything is like just prepared. So I'm like, what? What's happening? So then I get on this flight, right? So, okay, now I'm off the phone. It's jarging, and I'm like, okay, so I'm in it. So we're going to be in it. So I'm seeing where this dream is going to take me. So I go into the closet. Everything is just beautiful in this house. And this is like my house. So, like my loft apartment, it was so crazy. I get a call from the doorman downstairs, and they're like, are we still confirmed for the pickup to come pick up my luggage and then take me to the car and have the car ready for me outside? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. So I brush my teeth and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like really shocked. I'm like, I look like me right now when I went to bed. I have the outfit that I have on, all of that. But that wasn't the outfit that I was wearing before the dream went into dark and then I woke up in this bed. So I'm brushing my teeth and everything is just nice. And I'm like, I want to sit here and observe and look at everything. But I also am looking at the clock on my watch. And I don't know how to tell time from like the hands. I only know digital. I know that's so weird, right? I mean, if I really look at it, I could tell. But in my dream, the watch was all blinked out. And I don't know how to tell time on the dream. But for somehow I knew how to tell time on the dream. In the dream, I knew how to tell the time with the hands. Like instantly, I was like, oh my God, it's like 7:45. I gotta go. So I just judged myself and they came, they grabbed the bags, and then I came downstairs. It was like this blacked out like Tahoe. They put me in the car. I go in there, I put on these shades, and then they pull up into like this thing. And I'm thinking we're gonna go to a regular airport. Bullshit, it's not a regular airport. So I go in and it's this private jet, and there's like Priscilla Ono and a whole bunch of other like Savage, a whole bunch of other like Fenty people that I've seen. And we like, they're like, girl, da, 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 da. Like we thought you were in the making, like, oh my God, like this and the third. And then we get into the plane, I'm in this private plane. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in this private plane. Like, what is happening? Like, I am in this private plane. And I feel like I'm freaking out. And people are like all cheering and having fun. And they're like, so this is what's on the agenda. You're going to do a TED talk. And then there's this like a signing that you're going to be doing. And then all of these things. And I'm like, what is happening? So whatever, we land, and then I get put into like this hotel room, and I'm going over like these speeches. And okay, so I know this sounds weird, but when I go to the beach at night, I think about what I would say in a speech. Like I listen to a lot of speeches, like Martin Luther King, I Had a Dream, and a lot of people that have spoken profoundly that have particularly impacted my life. So I listen to a lot of speeches from people, and I listen to a lot of people's testimonies of how they've overcome great adversities. So when I go to the beach, I practice what I would say. Like when I am awarded the opportunity or I'm on stage, what words do I want to choose to say to impact a crowd and really convey how it feels to get to a place in your life where you have made the impossible possible, and you are now sitting in something that you've only ever dreamt about, and it has now become fully realized. What words would I want to say? So I practice a lot of these speeches, and I'm looking at these like different speeches or whatever, and I'm seeing that these are speeches that I've spoken to in the dream before, because whenever I'm having a dream and there's like actual like words I can read, I try to read them, and most of the time it looks like they're backwards. So I try to figure out what they say in reverse. I don't know, it's weird. So I was reading the speeches and they were clear. Like I felt that the paper, and the paper was like, and I remember saying this in the dream. I was like, ooh, this paper is expensive. It's like that thick cardstock paper. It's not the cheap paper. She's like, of course, girl. We know what you like. And I'm like, oh my God, we got money. I remember saying that in the dream when I was touching the paper. It felt so real. Like I remember touching the paper. I remember what it looks like. I remember the font. I remember the speech. Like it was crazy. So I'm like, oh my God, this is stuff that I've like envisioned and I've dreamt about. And it was basically like a quick rundown about my story and like how I left a toxic situation in order to save my life, and living in a truck and losing everything. I found something. I found myself, and just this epic speech about finding yourself and truly believing in yourself. And even though you don't know, walking in the uncertainty sometimes feels scary, but you're never walking unsure. What you don't know is everything around you. But as long as you know who you are, it doesn't matter what situation you're placed in, because you will always have something that keeps you centered and grounded. So focus on finding yourself first, because you will never be able to control anything else around you. You can only control yourself. Um, so that was like the gist of the speech. And I go on this stage or whatever. And like everything else in the dream went like a blur. It was almost like I was in this like dark room and I was looking at a bunch of screens that kept on going around like this and showing me all the states and cities and countries that I went to doing this tour with Fenty and all of this. And in the process of it, I was keeping this journal and writing about it and writing about it and writing about it and writing about it. And I remember that part. So then, boom, now it comes back to I'm back in my place, the apartment. And I get a phone call from my assistant on the thing, and I hear it in the answering machine. And she was like, Michelle, we actually have some tickets to a Laker game for you tonight. And it's a special request. These were courtside seats that were gifted to you by a particular someone that would later on be revealed. And I was like, what? And they were like, we actually have something being sent your way to wear for the night and this, that, and the third. So just be on the lookout. You'll the doorman will bring it up. So I'm like, okay, trying to figure it out. So in the dream, I'm waking up, I'm in the kitchen, I'm playing with the dog, and I'm like, okay, I wonder if in this dream I can call somebody that I know in real life, that I remember their number. So I'm on the phone trying to, I know this sounds crazy. This all sounds wild. I know. It's so weird. So I'm in the dream and I am trying to call somebody that I know in real life in the dream to see if they'll answer in my dream. Because I'm fully aware that this is a dream at this point, but I'm allowing the dream to just take me wherever I'm at. So they didn't answer the phone. They didn't answer the phone. The phone wasn't like, it didn't have a ringtone, like a boom, like it didn't have that tone. So I don't know what I was thinking. And then I hear a knock on the door. It startles me, and like it's this outfit. So the outfit was kind of like this skirt, but the skirt was kind of like, not like a pencil skirt. It almost looked like if you took a piece of fabric and kind of like wrapped it around, but the shirt button, like cropped blazer top that had like this collar that led into that, was real structured. And then it had like this oversized blazer and like some pumps, right? And it was in this like, I want to say like it was like this color that the only way I can explain it was they looked at my skin color and they made it look exactly like that. Like it was like this nude, but it was a nude that seemed so seamless. And like it was just cute. It was just really, really cute. So I'm like, all right, da, 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 da. So I go and I'm at this Laker game and I'm in the outfit and I'm looking and I'm by myself, right? Mind you, I'm by myself because I get ready. I'm by myself. I still don't know what's going on. And I get a text message from my assistant. She's like, girl, they're going to let everybody out, but just stay there and the person's going to come up. And I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this? So I'm like, what is happening? So everybody leaves the stadium and the arena, even the players, and then everything is empty and somebody comes out. I hear some footsteps and I'm like turning, but the person's so tall I can't really see who they are. And they're like, "It's a pleasure meeting you, Michelle." And he extends a hand and I grab it and it instantly feels like warm. And I'm like, "Who are you?" And then I look up and he says something, but for some reason in the dream, I hear like this ringing. And I still can't see his face, but I see like his body and stuff. And he's like talking to me, but I can't really like, whatever. So then that goes away, and I wake up now at home in the bed again. But this time, the assistant calls me, and I'm like, who was that? And she was like, you don't know who, da da da. And I don't know what the name was. I want to say Devon something. I don't know. But apparently it was a player from the Timberwolves. Is that a play? Is that a basketball team? The Timberwolves? Does anybody know this? Does anybody know basketball? Because I'm trying to like, whatever. So I think he was from the Timberwolves and he got recently traded off to the Lakers. So she's telling me this was like a new player. He got switched out to the Lakers and he was a Timberwolf. I think that's what she said, a Timberwolf. And I'm like, okay, this, that, and third. She was like, yeah, well, he actually like was at the party where you did your speech because, well, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but he's actually going to be working and campaigning with you actually for Fenty Skin. And he saw you at the industry party and wanted a one-on-one with you, so invited you to the game. And actually the outfit that was sent to you was something that he gifted you. And I'm like, and you were going to tell me this when? And she was like, well, he wanted it to be a surprise. And I was like, and did he pay you? Because, bitch, I'm paying you. Like, you're supposed to be my sister. You're supposed to be telling me these things. And she's like this, I cannot disclose that. And I was like, oh, you a little saucy. You a little saucy. So whatever. And she's like, well, actually, you have dinner with him tonight because you're going to be on the same flight because like I said, he's going to be working with you hand in hand. And I think that's why he wanted to meet you because you guys are going to be working closely together. And I was like, but isn't he like a basketball player? Like, where does he have time for this and this and the third? He was like, girl, the season is over. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, that was a championship game. Like, they won. I was like, oh, I don't know anything about sports. So, boom. Apparently, now I'm on this flight with like this basketball player. And how it turns out is that, okay, so I'm having this conversation. As I'm having this conversation with her on the phone, I get a knock on the door and it's this bouquet, like this massive bouquet of flowers. Massive bouquet of flowers. And in the card, it read, see you on the flight tonight. Can't wait to work with you. And I'm like, what's happening? And then I wake up. That's it. I didn't get to go on the flight with him. I didn't get to see what happened with him. None of that. None. I don't even, maybe it could have just been strictly platonic. Maybe he really was just being nice because we were about to work together on a campaign for Fenty. I don't know, but that was the dream. Intense. Intense. It was absolutely intense. Oh, I actually watched the sunrise. It's beautiful. I feel like nobody's on this chat anymore talking to me. Somebody just put, oh my God, her screen name is Just Believe. Dreams are usually a sign of what's going to come into your life. Well, I welcome it. Grand Rising, son. Glad you finally decided to show up and shine on me. Okay, like literally the sun low-key loves me. Because like the light from the sun just always looks amazing on my skin. Can I be completely transparent with you? I don't want to wear anything else but this outfit right now. Like I'm obsessed. I want to wear this outfit all day. All day. I don't want to wear anything else. I don't want to wear anything else other than this outfit today. With this eyeliner, I don't want to wear anything else. I love this outfit. That dream was so cute, and I had that dream in this outfit, so I want to always wear this outfit. I feel like this is like my lucky outfit. I love it. I love it. Oh, y'all here? Oh, you gave me the purple heart. Thank you, or whatever. Thank you, whatever. Riri grabbed my arm in the dream. Do y'all understand that? Let me tell you something. I'll probably pee on myself a little bit. If Riri was to touch me, I would be like, Riri, you is lying. You is not really here. She's gonna be like, girl, I'm right here. And I'm gonna be like, you is not even here right now. Like, you is not even here. Like, I refuse to believe it. What am I gonna do today? Like, for real. What am I gonna do today? Today's Sunday. I want to go to a farmer's market and be cute, but I can't go to the farmer's market in this outfit. It's so salacious. It's so salacious. Guys, keep it $1.50. Like, if you my friend, is this too salacious to go to the farmer's market? What do you think? Salacious. I love that word. No, can't go to the farmer's market just in case. This is giving me very like, I had a really fun night last night. It's giving me that look. What am I gonna do today? Interesting. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna go. Start my morning. Start it off right. People go on walks early in the morning. Maybe I should go on a walk early in the morning. All right. I love you guys.